Season 3, coming at you right about now. First of all, let me say, folks, it's good to be back. I missed you. I missed Justin. I missed Taylor. Most importantly, I missed this couch. I missed the glizzies on this island.
Do you not sit on that couch every day?
I take a nice nap on this every day around, crack of noon to about 4 p.m. It's a good schedule. You got to get your beauty sleep in. We are in the show business, Justin. It's called show business.
Nightlife.
It's show business, not stay up late business.
Yeah, you're right.
All right?
You're
But
right.
regardless, Justin, nice haircut. Taylor,
Yeah.
still haven't gotten your haircut since October.
2 haircuts a year. I got one in February. We'll leave it at that.
How's your summer been, boys?
Pretty solid year. Was on the radio all summer, traveling the island, so pretty happy with that. Can't complain. I'm going to miss it a bit, but I'm glad that I'm back with this, so we're still out and about.
What else can a boy from down east ask for other than traveling this island in a hot 105.5 cruiser?
Right? Nice little big Jeep. Beats the 2010 Rolla, that's for sure.
And all over the radio this summer. I'm sure you guys, anyone that listens to the radio nowadays, who
Your
knows?
favorite summer voice.
Yeah, you got a whole 10 listeners now.
Yeah, probably 10 now. I don't know.
I don't know the exact numbers, but I signed a few autographs this summer.
I forgot my auxiliary cord one drive. And I listen to the radio.
Yeah.
There we go.
When my phone dies, I do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't do it when I'm not.
Yeah. Anyway, Justin, you just landed from Ottawa.
Yeah,
this morning.
I'm off a flight here about 3 hours ago. Basically, the summer's been busy for me. I was the only one that stayed here. Well, actually, that's a lie. You stayed here, but you were gone.
I was only gone for a month, man.
Yeah, only a month. I was the only one that was here inside the Waterboyz studio.
He got lonely.
Yeah, I got lonely while you were gone.
Got one of them body pillows. He just curls up with the night.
Yeah, they put our faces on it.
So, it was busy summer. Worked for the city of Charlottetown.
Yeah, that's busy.
Sitting and taking naps in a truck.
I'll give Rupert a shout out right here. This is the only shout out that I'll ever give him. But shout out to Rupert, great worker for the summer. Anyway, so moving on to the next part of the summer, which was I covered most of the whatever baseball games I could get to. I went to for the Islanders. It was pretty busy for that. Double headers, a lot of sun, a lot of no sunscreen going on, and
get a little tan there, Jenny?
Oh, got a big tan. I am a farmer boy, all about. It's like tan here, white all the rest of the way.
He's Neapolitan ice cream, folks. He's got a little
and then
dark, little strawberry, little white.
Yeah.
Ended the summer on a actually, you know what? That's funny. Ended the summer on a positive note. Went to Ottawa for the last 5 days, and now I am back. We are starting school. Taylor starts tomorrow. I start Wednesday. Grant starts Wednesday. The mayhem begins. We are full blown back into the podcast. Full blown back into covering sports. Full blown into playing sports for Grant. Me and Taylor are playing rec leagues. We're loaded.
Beer league still counts.
Yeah.
UPEI Men's Rugby Nationals. This is the year.
Yeah.
This is the year.
So
we're going.
So first off, we're going into the hockey news because we told you when we left off back in July that we would be coming back with all the latest information that happened throughout the rest of the summer. So Taylor, why don't you start us off here? What happened in the hockey world in the last month and a half?
Where do I start with the hockey world in the last month and a half? This has probably been the craziest and busiest offseason the NHL has seen probably since the cap era came into play. So we're going to kick things off here with Calgary. The Flames, man. Brad Treliving.
The Flames were flaming this summer.
The Flames, yeah. First it was burning the building down. Everyone was like, Calgary's done. Might as well sell the franchise. We were in Arizona Coyotes level of hype there. And then all of a sudden, Brad Treliving just pulls the rabbit out of the hat. He turns chicken shit into chicken strips. This guy absolutely turned the year around. We'll start with Johnny Gaudreau. 2 days before free agency starts, he decides, tells Calgary, you know what, you don't have a chance signing me. It's time, I'm leaving, I'm going to America to sign with the good old Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, that was a big loss.
For less money, too.
For less money to go to Columbus.
Where he thinks he's competing for a championship. You know what?
Where you'd be lucky to get to the playoffs, let alone do anything else.
Props for him for thinking this. Like, maybe it will work out, but I just don't see them being a championship team in the next 2 to 3 years at least.
5 to 6, maybe 10, lifetime. Who knows? It's Columbus.
Maybe in his mind, he's just like an 8-year-old. He's just like, oh, I want to go to the stadium with the cannon. Makes a big boom.
Well, I mean, like,
every time
we're talking about Johnny Gaudreau here. Like, what was reported, I remember seeing, like, all the whole time was Philly. And Philly never even gave him an offer.
Philly seems to choke anytime. Yeah, they comes to signing or make the big splash. They just sign like wash-ups. They hope they can turn into big names.
Someone on TikTok made the perfect analogy, and it was that super bad analogy of when McLovin gets his fake ID. And they're like, why would you go with McLovin of all names? And he's like, well, it was between that and Muhammad. Why would it be between McLovin and Muhammad? And that was my mindset, and the person who made that TikTok over that sound, that was their mindset. Between Philly and Columbus. Those are two very strange teams to want to go to.
Very
as
strange.
a superstar with that last name.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a family move, but even so, he's like, New Jersey was the most logical at that point. Because I'm pretty sure he grew up in like Orange County or something.
Yeah, and on top of that, New Jersey is actual...
They didn't have a terrible offseason.
Team that's going to be decent this
Exactly.
They're going to have some competitive edge. Right?
Yeah, but he goes 7 years, $68.25 million to go to Columbus.
Yeah.
Where he thinks we got a chance to win.
I mean, I guess Gaudreau's Gaudreau, and we're going to see what he can do, if he's going to be a 100-point player there or not.
100-point player or not, one man cannot carry a cannon.
I mean, 100-point player, they lost 2 of them this year, so which one's the other one?
We move on to July 22nd, where a little bit before this, Matthew Tkachuk says, well, I just lost the only guy that can score on this team other than me. So, time to abandon ship and go back to the States as well. So, a few days later, not even a week goes by, and Brad Treliving's like, you know what, we're gonna feel out the trade market. We'll just probably hold on to him for a bit and see what happens, because like he doesn't have to move him ASAP. And then all of a sudden, the Florida Panthers come along and are like, hey, we'll give you like 2 pillars of our franchise to get this guy. They send Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and just a prospect, and a conditional first-round pick in 2025 for Matthew Tkachuk and a 4th.
And if it's not a first-round pick in 2025, it's a first-round pick in 2026. So it's the first pick no matter what.
Yeah.
So for me, this trade is just bonkers.
Calgary has a full refrigerator, and they're ready to eat now.
And it doesn't even stop there.
What did you get? A superstar winger? Oh, wait, you just lost Johnny Gaudreau? Thank you very much. We'll take that. Oh, wait, what did you get? A top 2 defenseman? Oh, wait, we already have one of the best defensive pairs in the league. We'll take that. So,
and throw in a prospect and a first-round pick. For one player and a 4th-round pick. Like, no disrespect to Matthew Tkachuk. I love his game. He's got, like, all the elements you want that have been missing in hockey lately with the physicalness, but also the ability to score. But you just got Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar. And, like, I can't stress this enough. Like you said, the Florida GM must have been drunk whenever he sent that deal over.
Like, the other thing is, like, Huberdeau re-signing Calgary for $1 million more than what...
He got 8 years, $84 million.
Yeah, you get 10.5 AAV. And I'm pretty sure Matthew Tkachuk got 8 years, $9.5 million AAV. So, if you're Florida, like, you're off on $1 million, and I'm sure, you know what, Huberdeau would have took the same price as what Tkachuk did to stay in Florida. So why not sign Huberdeau?
Well, it was like Huberdeau said he was so blindsided because they had just started talking about extensions, and then all of a sudden it's, hey, we're sending you up north.
I get that he's like 6 years older. I think he's 6 years older than Tkachuk, but this man just put up like 115 points. I'm pretty sure this past year. The best winger Florida had, him and Barrikov, that line, and it
not does it baffle me, but I feel so proud that Calgary came out the way they did, because that fan base did not deserve to have that kind of off-season unfold for them. And then in the span of like a week, they lost their two like pillars, the two names to their franchise, brought in Huberdeau, Uyghur, and then flash forward a little bit to August 18th, the hottest free agent on the market, who took a month and a half to sign after free agency open, Nazem Kadri, comes in on a 7x7.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you ship out Sean Monahan.
Yeah, to clear the room.
To Montreal, which good for Montreal. We got a first round pick as well out of that, so I'm not too upset about that. We'll see
Sean
if he can,
Monahan now.
We'll see if he can I don't even know, re-trigger his career, reset his career.
You stack that on Montreal's wicked draft that they just had.
Oh yeah.
They're walking away. I'd say, with the flip-flopping success of the Montreal Canadiens,
We're hoping,
you're in for a hot year.
that we have this exact same season that we had last year.
No, like this.
Yes,
no.
The season they had.
I'd say you're
If you are not at least the 10 teams, I would say, that are competing for the Stanley Cup, you're tanking for Bedard.
Oh, 100%.
So
Yeah.
there's no reason for us to be like we need to go win. Like we need.
No,
to,
they definitely.
we need to
I think
get
they do
better.
look better than they did last season.
Oh, they
Losing
look
Carey
better.
Price hurts.
And for sure. And I think that to go back to basically Calgary, it's Nazem Kadri did not get the price that he wanted. When he went into free agency, he wanted $9 million to begin with. He got $2 million less every year.
Colorado would never be able to afford him to
Colorado
begin with.
never was going to be able to afford that.
And why would they need it?
They
That's my
still,
thing.
they
You
still
got-
have a lot of good, yeah.
You got Newhook on the way up too, so like.
Yeah, I think Calgary got everyone was saying it was a little
And-
much, but I think they got a pretty solid deal getting
I
Naz
think-
7x7.
I think $7 million isn't the problem. I think it's the term that's the problem.
Yeah, 7 years.
He's 7 years. I'm pretty sure he's 31 years old. That takes him to 38. Just
Anything above 5 years for a guy that age is a little questionable.
Was still earning 7 mil at that point.
Yeah.
31 at the end of this season, turning 32 in October. So yeah.
It's nice to see him back in Canada though.
So technically he'll be 30, 38, turning 39 by the end of this contract, making $7 million a year. Do you really think he's gonna put up the numbers that he did? And my biggest problem with Nazem Kadri is, yes, I think he had an amazing season. I think he had a great playoffs, but this is only one season worth of body work. This is not.
He's been solid, but that
He's
was
been
his
solid.
breakout season, yeah.
It's not. It hasn't been a constant point per game player though. I don't think.
I think they're banking on the fact that they're going to get 2 to 3 more good years out of him before he starts to decline. So they were just kind of like, they're still in win now mode, and they were like, we'll bite the bullet on the term. Trelevin was like, let's just keep making splashes. We'll bite the bullet on the term. Hopefully get good 2-3 years out of him. Try and make a cup run, and then he'll hopefully
'cause I
still be
think
good. But
Calgary's trying to go for a cup right now. Like
they're not.
obvious.
They're not even done adding. They said like Trelevin still wants more.
Yeah.
They were not satisfied with their performance.
And then,
No,
like you
nothing
said,
actually.
like they extended a couple more players this offseason.
Yeah, so we got in extensions. Oh, they got Zadorov extended. They got Donsk. They got Pullman. They got Mangiapane extended, and they got Caden Fleury. So they didn't finish there at all, and as well they signed Oscar Killington to a 2-year $5 million deal.
Yeah, so I think those extensions, Zadorov, Killington, Mangiapane, all those guys are key assets to the Flames, like starting, I guess,
Yeah.
12 forwards and 6 defensemen. Like,
They're deeper up front than they were last year.
They're
They're not going
definitely
to have that
deeper.
first line again. But
they're not going to
deeper.
have that powerful best first line
No.
or best line in the NHL, but still, and a line of Mangiapane, Lindholm, and Huberdeau will be pretty
Deadly.
great to see,
Okay.
or Toffoli, whoever slots in the
That's
top
fine.
line. But I mean, that wasn't just the only team that had a decent offseason.
Yeah,
No.
Calgary had a great time, but I think we've given them enough of our time.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Toronto and Carolina here.
Yeah, Toronto obviously
Toronto's
disappointing
just a team,
again.
Toronto's just a team that we have to mention because it's Toronto, and Toronto is Toronto.
Yeah, so basically...
It's not a punching bag like it used to be, but it's definitely a speed bag.
Oh,
you get a couple
They're-
quick ones on them now.
Yeah, they're... I'd be shocked if they don't get out of the first round.
As long as they ever in Tampa Bay again.
I mean, I've said this for the past 5 years, so, like, I don't know. They're probably not going to make it out of the first round.
They're definitely banking on luck and hope right now. Soup's gone. Heartbreaker there to say. And they bring in Matt Murray. They acquired him
That's
from the
a very
Sens.
questionable trade. but-
Yeah, and then they also signed Ilya Samsonov to a 1/1.8.
And
Which is
really,
also a questionable
I
trade.
Which is
know,
also
I
questionable.
love that one. I love that move. He was supposed like.
Do you love that
he's-
because you're a Canadians fan?
No,
or do
no,
you
no.
love that because of
No. I love it because he was supposed to be like. I wish that we would have signed him.
It feels like a low risk, high reward kind of deal.
Exactly,
You're only paying
because-
1.8 for a year with the chance of him having a really big
Because
season.
he was drafted 22nd overall in the 2015 draft. If I do remember correctly, and he had such a high potential, high ceiling, and he just didn't live up to it in Washington. So, like you said, it's not a big contract. It's
No.
only 1 year as well. So, it's basically Ilya Kovalchuk in Montreal.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't result with another deal with Peter Mrazek, I think that's a W for the Leafs.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with the Leafs. That low risk, high reward, you got to take a high risk. I mean, you need a lot and you grab a little. You went to the grocery
yeah.
store and you grabbed a bag of oranges, and that's really it.
I don't think they need any defensemen because they have Sandin on the way up. They have Liljegren
If
on
they
the
can
way
sign
up.
him.
Well, they're gonna be.
Liljegren's extended and Giordano was extended.
Yeah, like I think the D set up.
Yeah.
Muzzin, he could go if they wanted
But
to.
the
But
Leafs are still just rolling
That's
dice.
not even the biggest
No.
thing right now with the Leafs. The biggest thing is that they're might be in on Patrick Kane. So here's my proposal of trade. Once I heard this, everyone said, "What are you talking about? You're crazy. They'd never do this." But hear me out. You send Jake Muzzin, which sure,
That's a salary dump in
they're
a Chicago
not.
Eaton.
Chicago's not gonna love that one.
No.
But they need to do that in order to meet cap regulations. You're going to send Nick Robinson, who is a really good prospect, who could
Taking
be
a
in
while
the
to
NHL.
develop.
He could be in the NHL. He was in the NHL a little bit last year, but he could be a regular NHL player this year. And then a first and a third for Patrick Kane.
I think they're going to want more.
I think so too, but I think that's a fair trade to start out with.
Yeah, I was thinking Willie Nylander would be on the way.
That's a good play to start off with.
Yeah.
I don't know if Willie. I think Willie. This is it. This is the season.
Yeah.
He's
He's just streaky. He's not always horrible. It's just streaky.
And the reason nobody really expects Kane to go to one of those other teams is because it's just arrogance. They don't expect him to wear anything other than the Blackhawk sweater.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. It's
You're
just
not wrong
odd.
with that. It's gonna be weird seeing him in a different sweater
Yeah.
if it happens. I figure it'll be the Rangers if I'm being.
I'd
completely
love to
that-
see him with the Rangers, to be honest. Instead
That
of the Leafs.
completely changes any other one of the 31 locker rooms in this league.
And just it makes them that much better, and that means if Patrick Kane goes, Taves is definitely gone as well.
I honestly, and I think they're gonna need to keep Daves for a bit, unless some team wants to. They're not gonna get anything back for him. He had a very subpar. I know he was dealing with a lot of illness the year before, but he had a very subpar year last year.
He doesn't want to be in a rebuild for the next 5 to 10 years.
No,
To
he's
end his
gonna
career.
jump. I mean, that's what happens with any team in any league in any sport. Is you go through that rebuild, you're gonna lose.
Yep.
You're gonna lose.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna be a Blues fan for 2022-2023 season, maybe through 2024 too.
Okay.
Might support my home state,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I will say
fair
this:
enough. Fair enough.
the light is at the end of the tunnel
Yeah.
for the Blackhawks,
Very much
and
so.
maybe for the Leafs too.
Wrap up the Leafs right quick. They also added Cale Yarnrock, 4 by 8.4. It's not a bad deal coming out of Nashville there. They take on Jordy Ben, Victor Mete.
No. Kale Yancock came from Seattle, was traded to Calgary, and then now he signed with the Leafs. $2 million by 4 years.
Yeah, he's got 4 years, 8.4 in total. Yeah.
So that's a great deal for the Leafs.
Yeah, and they also add Abe Kubel to finish at bottom sixth line there, and they add Mete and Ben both on league mins.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be
They got a lot of low risk, high reward deals coming in, but no big splashes. They're gambling heavy this year, which they've done for a while with their goaltending.
Yeah, exactly. They're just gonna play it by ear again. Let soup walk, but it is what it is. The next thing I think we have to really diverse is I don't think we've ever seen a team in baseball fall off the way that the New York Yankees have fallen off as a division leader. Like, I've seen teams fall off the way they've fallen off. I don't mean that. I just mean as a division leader with that big of a lead, and now you're down to 4-game lead over the Tampa Bay Rays.
They were 15.5 come the All-Star break, I'm pretty sure it was. And then all of a sudden, now entering play today, they were 4 games ahead of the Rays and 6 games ahead of the Jays entering play today. Yeah.
You know what surprised me since May? The Seattle Mariners.
The Seattle Mariners.
You asked me in spring ball who I thought would be top 5 in the American. I would not have put the Mariners in that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Not the way they started, that's for sure.
Nope.
No.
Well, I mean, you did just sign your impressive rookie, Rodriguez.
Julio
Rodriguez to a huge deal. Not just a deal, it's a huge deal.
For a 21-year-old?
Yeah, for a rookie and 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And while we were away, the Mariners put a couple whoopings on the Yankees. There was one game where they got, 6 runs in the first against the Yankees?
Yeah.
I saw they lost a game 9-0 to the other day, and their manager was just like, please let this be rock bottom. I can't take any more.
You're just hoping for a bump before October in this.
So literally, the only guy still performing right is Aaron Judge. He's still on pace to have an MVP year. He's up to 52 dingers.
He's already got MVP love.
Yeah, but then I noticed the other game. Stanton, 3 strikeouts. He came back from injury, 3 straight strikeouts.
It's all because they traded Joey Gallo.
No.
The world was right when they had Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo had to swing and he had to miss. But the Yankees were winning. It was all good. They didn't care because Joey Gallo...
It was Gonzo.
No, it was who cares if Joey Gallo's not doing great because we're winning. Now that they're losing and Joey Gallo's not there, it makes it even worse.
And he's actually doing better with the Dodgers.
Yes, that's the worst part about this. Now, the one thing I will like to say is that the Mets seem like the better team in New York at the moment. Actually, they don't just seem like the better team in New York. They are
the New York Mets.
They seem like one of the better teams north of what? North Carolina?
No, they seem like one of the better teams in the MLB, period.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to fall off.
They always
do.
And
you go back to the end of season 2, and I was really looking like I was banking on it. But they haven't. They've just stuck around.
Diaz has the coldest closing song I've ever heard in sports.
It's so
Second
cool.
coldest.
What's
Enter Sandman. That is the coldest.
Yeah, put them to sleep.
Yeah. It was a Yankees pitcher.
Yeah.
Back, 10 years ago?
But
somewhere around there.
The trumpets just...
Timmy Trumpets, that's a great one. That is a great one.
It's something to hype the crowd up, but also
they get going when you know.
I'll be honest, I get going too.
His walk, it makes it even better.
The shoulders just bumping.
Yeah, the way he gets the shoulders going and everything.
And they even brought Timmy Trumpets to Citi Field.
That was a hell of a game.
To bump what?
To watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They this is like an iconic thing that's I think gonna be with them for the rest of the season, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's like a tradition now, or a
every
superstition.
Every time he comes in, it's being played now. Like it's
which is interesting. Yeah, no, it's like you said, it's such a baller move to have that as your and to have the trumpet, like Timmy Trumpet, there at a game live too.
It is. It's a great atmosphere at those games. It looks like.
Well, they're just finally happy they're above 500 still after the trade deadline.
They are 35
well above 500.
games.
630.
Yeah.
Yeah,
630.
630 right now. There's 35 games above 500. My next thing is it's sad, but like it is what it is. You go from 35 games above 500, everything's great in New York City, to the north of the border, Canada, and we basically are just surviving day by day. Like,
streaky is the only word that can best describe the 2022 Toronto Blue Jays.
Yep, I would agree with that. Currently, we are 6-4 in our last 10. Going into today, that is we have a double header against Baltimore.
Enter and play today. It was 6 games back of the Yankees before the doubleheader got underway, and 2.5 games ahead of the Baltimore Orioles, who they're playing today for the final wildcard spot.
And you're gonna have to put some distance in between that Baltimore team, because that Baltimore team is scary.
They're a team. The Jays are a team with everything to lose, playing a team with nothing to lose, and they're just having fun and seeing what they can do at this point of the year.
You got a catcher that is absolutely brilliant in Baltimore. You have Gunnar, who they just called up. Gunner's arm strength is just stupid good. Like, it is insane how strong his arm strength is. His turning the double play the other night.
I saw that, yeah.
What a throw. Just he is definitely, no doubt, proving why he was the number 1 prospect in the offense.
Yeah, and like you said, Adley rushed from behind the plate. They're feeling like the Toronto Blue Jays of 2 years ago, when Vladdy was just coming up, Bichette was just coming up, Biggio still had a lot of hype, and they were all like, "Oh my God, look at our young guns."
Yeah,
they're starting to kind of feel like that.
The problem with the Blue Jays is they're losing games that they shouldn't lose.
Oh, big time.
Mostly against the Orioles and the Angels. You lost 3 straight against the Angels.
Oh, you didn't even score a run? Oh, wait, no, you scored
2.
1.
They scored 3 against the Angels in that last series.
Yeah, they
in the last game.
Shut out twice and scored 3.
But they lost 8-3. The first game they lost 12-0. And
Second
then 2-0.
game they lost, 2-0. So
those are 3 games you should not be losing. The Angels
those
are
should be 3 games that should be won.
Those are 3 games that must be won at this point in the year.
Those should be 3 games that's a series sweep, and that's ridiculous that they're not. Like, it's terrible. You can't be considered a World Series team.
They have 2 of the best players in the league, but
guess which team they proceeded to lose to? They went 2-1 in the series. Guess who they lost to in that series?
Like the next series, you mean?
It was the next series, yeah.
Orioles, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure maybe Boston.
It was the Chicago Cubs that they lost to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chicago Cubs. How the hell did you lose to them 2 out of 3 times?
Yeah,
and that's 5 out of 6 games against, like, no offense, terrible teams right now.
And you're how many games back of the Yankees enter and play today for this?
6.
And you look at 5 of those games if they were a win.
Yeah.
Like you just you're in the dog days of August. You're coming in the home stretch of September. This is when you must, and I mean must, have your season figured out. And it still feels like they're getting streaky. Only a few of their guys are getting hot at the right times.
You must
Barrios
elevate.
is still.
They gotta elevate their play, like every single one of them. Except for Alex Manoah. Alec Manoah has been great the whole
King
season.
of the six.
He's definitely their ace.
And I love his energy too. Like he's the life of the.
So like I don't know what else to say right now about the Toronto Blue Jays other than you better take some medication, fans of the Blue Jays, because it's gonna be a wild September.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the city of Toronto, let's talk about the cousin to the south in terms of sports, the city of Chicago. Oh my goodness! Like I thought we'd keep our head above water with the Sox and the Cubs. Nope. You know, I knew Bears would probably tank this year, and they probably will. I didn't know how to feel about the Blackhawks and the Bulls, but I will say this. I just thought we'd have at least baseball to, be somewhat happy about it. Not excited. Not selling out stadiums, but just somewhat excited about. And they are proceeding to tank. The only teams in National League they have an edge on is Nationals and Pirates, and maybe Reds and Miami.
I mean, the Bears are probably going to be the best team in Chicago.
The only highlight the city of Chicago has right now is Dave Portnoy doing pizza reviews for them in there, wiping up all the good joints.
Barstool Big Cat, just
Actually,
great representative.
Sorry, the Bulls were half decent, but
The Bulls will be good this year again too.
They'll be all right.
Yeah,
just
they get a full year of
just
Vucevic
overall
and
the
DeRozan.
city of Chicago is suffering right now in sports.
At least I'll have something to look forward to, somewhat,
Yeah, they got
throughout the winter.
Yeah,
Maybe
Justin,
there'll be some exciting Bulls.
you got
The Bulls will
Justin
be good.
Fields getting sacked about 10 times a game. That's what you got to look forward to.
Did you see the proposal for the new Memorial Stadium that the city of Chicago put out?
I did not.
Well, City of Chicago Twitter put up plans, let's make Soldier Field, New Age Stadium, put a dome there, a little park, city access. Let's put it into the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on their mock-up proposal, they put up a video board in the new proposed park area, and on that video board was Justin Fields getting sacked.
That's nice.
That is just the epitome of Bears fans.
Yeah.
We know what's happening, but
Yeah.
we just want a nice stadium out of it.
Oh my god.
And that was just, at that point in the summer, I said, you know what? Chiefs all the way.
Chiefs all the way. Yeah, well, speaking about football,
Let's get into it.
week 1 is this week. We are, 3 days away from the first NFL game? We got the Rams and we got the Bills starting us off Thursday night in SoFi Stadium, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, SoFi.
Yep.
SoFi Thursday night,
Buffalo,
9:20.
100%.
You guys just say Buffalo?
Bills.
Yeah, it's Bills LA, Thursday.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is both teams that Odell's apparently deciding between.
You win this game, I'll sign with you.
Apparently, I saw today on I can't remember exactly where, but Odell, I guess, or LA saved a locker for Odell still, in hopes that he will be returning to the team.
They don't need him is the big thing.
No, they got Robert Wood.
Allen Robinson. is
Yeah,
their
Allen
big
Robinson is the one that they picked up, and they
the big sign
Yes.
of the offseason for LA, and they
Yeah.
also
So
still have
they-
Cooper Kupp.
they still have Cooper Kupp.
You kidding me?
There's-
Cooper Kupp is
and
one of the best receivers.
Jefferson. They're gonna be good.
I love Odell, and not to crap on him at all, but I think taking in Allen Robinson just defeats the purpose of re-signing
Yeah,
Odell. He's
I
not
don't
going to get
think-
nearly as many looks. You don't need him.
I
Feed
don't
Kupp,
think-
feed Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I don't think you need Odell if you're the Rams.
No, where the Bills, they could use a strong 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
So could the Pats.
I'll tell you what I like this
Shut
week.
up, baby.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like this week 1 is the revenge games. The
Revenge?
Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. The New England-Miami game.
Okay,
let's see.
what revenge are you talking about here?
There's just
Who are you talking about getting revenge?
there's no one particular example for New England-Miami, but I'd say in the last 3 years it's just been somewhat decent. You look at the Miami Miracle.
I think that
you,
this week.
you look at that back and forth.
We haven't won in Miami in a couple of years. I think this weekend it changes.
No,
Week 1 we're coming out strong.
my big week 1 game, Panthers-Browns.
Yeah, that's my big.
That's my big
That's
one. Week
my-
I figured
Like, I
it'd be
really-
Denver-Seattle for you.
No,
I'm diehard Denver fan, but no.
This is
Browns,
week
Panthers.
1. Baker's literally gone on the air saying that he's gonna F them up.
Oh yeah.
He is fired up, ready to go. I realize that they don't have Deshaun Watson, so it's not.
I hope Cleveland goes
Playing
0-16
field.
this year, or 0-17. Sorry.
But come on now, the Browns. I think they're gonna get diced up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to think of the Browns after week 7, but I know until then.
I can tell you what to think after week 11. Deshaun Watson comes back. Oh wait,
I thought it was 7.
No,
Is it 11?
They got to
they
11.
They upped
Okay,
it.
yeah.
So here's how it went. It was 6 games because the judge recommended 6 games. The NFL said no, we want more than 6 games. But for the first time ever, a player was not suspended for a full season in this case. Instead, he was suspended for 11 games, which then conveniently leads them to their bye week. And then in week 13, guess who they play?
The Texans.
The Texans in Texas.
Mm.
Or in Houston, sorry.
That does kind of...
So, you tell me where the NFL saw a loophole and said, we want to make some money.
That is going to be a big
Not
deal.
only the NFL want to make some money, but the Browns set up Deshaun's extension deal so that he only loses like very little money in these 11 weeks he's suspended.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly hope the Browns lose every game. I know they won't, but I'd love to see them lose every game this year because I think that not only for what they did to Baker, but taking in Deshaun after all those allegations and all like the crap that he has on his name, they don't deserve to do good this year.
I hope that Baker has a good game on Sunday.
I hope the Baker tears the field apart.
But, I mean, other than that, who else is a surprise or a standout game? I mean, obviously...
He mentioned Broncos, Seattle.
Bills and Rams.
Well, Seattle isn't going to put much of a fight.
No, it's just nice to see Wilson get to
You
play
know
his
what,
old
yeah,
team
actually,
and put them in the garbage
looking at
can.
this right now,
Broncos Country.
Right
Broncos
now,
just ride. Let's ride.
this is probably the game of the week. I
Broncos
would say.
Country.
Well,
Let's ride.
actually, there's a couple. Okay, you guys over here is talking about Russell Wilson. I would say the Raiders and Chargers. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers and Cowboys.
Ugh.
Buccaneers and Cowboys.
Julio Jones
Bucks
makes
are
his
better.
debut with
Yeah.
the Bucks. Tom Brady in Dallas. Yeah, it's gonna be a big night.
I like the Bucks in
Cowboys-
that game just because the Cowboys self-sabotage.
Cowboys are just in a twilight zone between I can't tell if they're really going to tank or if they might actually surprise me.
Here's my thing. Are the Raiders better than the Chargers?
Yes.
No.
No. Chargers
No.
got to take that.
Raiders are not even gonna finish.
I like
above
Raiders.
500.
I like the Raiders' offense better in that game, but the Chargers' defense is gonna run.
Everyone watching this knows football. The toughest division in football is going to be the AFC West.
What is his?
It's not even a competition this year.
NFC East is a joke. NFC North, joke besides Aaron Rodgers. NFC South, interesting. NFC West,
AFC West.
Rams.
AFC West is 4 teams that could make the playoffs.
And the Broncos will be sitting pretty right on top at the end of the season.
No.
AFC East might be interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
No, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you put Tua with Tyreek. You get Allen and Buffalo.
You got Mac Jones second year. They're saying that he's improved so much.
And then the New York Jets are just the greatest stand-up comedian I've ever met.
No. They're winning the Super Bowl. Man.
Those are
They're
53
winning-
stand-up comedians, and their job is to wear a jersey.
They're winning the Super Bowl. They got
The Jets?
moms. They got moms lined up
Oh my
for
gosh,
weeks.
we're going back to this. No, dude. That is disgusting. Anyway, AFC North.
I'm sorry, but that just had to be said.
Yeah, AFC North, I think, could compete with the AFC West.
AFC North, no.
Yeah. You got the
No.
Ravens, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Steelers.
The Steelers are going to be mediocre at best.
Yeah. But I mean,
You got MVP, Mr. Mitchell Trubisky, Nickelodeon MVP. Starting week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think they're going anywhere, man. I can't see
The other
that.
two
well,
teams
just
in that division,
just
though.
in the sense of the AFC East.
Okay,
that's-
well, here, okay. You guys, both your teams are in the AFC West, so give me your AFC West 1 through 4 right now.
1 through 4, 1 Kansas City Chiefs. Gone back to back.
No.
Another division title coming your way?
Another division title coming our way. 2, I'm going to give it to you in Denver. This is an odd 2 for me because it's between Chargers and Denver, which really has never been the case
No.
until maybe the creation of the modern AFC West. I mean, I can't think of a time when I was like, man, I don't want to play Chargers or Denver in the same season besides 06 when we were worse than both.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so 2 and 3, that's a tie for me between Chargers and Broncos. But I'll give it to Denver just because you're sitting next to me.
Yeah.
And I like you. 4, Raiders.
Okay, and Taylor?
You know what? I'm going to take Broncos, number 1, on top. I think they're going to stir up. I think Cortland Sutton's going to have a big comeback year. Jerry Judy's going to improve so much. Russell Wilson's going to be a beauty.
I'm a Pats fan, and I'm not even going to sit here and lie and say that we're going to beat the Bills for the number 1 spot in my division. Like, come on. The Broncos are not going to win.
Broncos are not taking one.
I don't know. Kansas City, they lost Tyreek. I think Mahomes is going to have some
And we
work
picked up
to do.
Juju.
Okay, here's the thing. Both of you guys are wrong.
First of all,
Don't say it.
no.
The Chargers are finishing first.
Nope.
The Chargers are most definitely finishing first. They're the most complete team in football.
What?
No.
Do you not see what they have?
Justin Hibbert.
I see they have number 2 on lock.
Yes,
You're telling me- you're
he's
telling me
not
what?
taking them to a division title.
Okay,
He
Justin.
could be the MVP of the league
Justin.
this year.
What?
Let's theoretically take all your earnings from the city of Charlottetown that you made this summer.
We already
You
got
go
50.
to
I'm
you
not-
go to the
I'm not
casino.
going to
You go to
put-
the casino.
I'm not going to put it all on LA. Like,
Then
no.
why are you so confident in them taking the champ?
No. I'm confident in them taking the division.
Division.
No, that's what I'm saying. The division champs. Why are you saying that you're confident in that?
I'm confident because I think they're better and they're more complete than any of these other teams that are in the division.
You are so wrong.
Who has a better defense than them?
Chiefs.
You're lying sitting there saying that because they lost Tyrann Mathieu this offseason and their
He didn't
safeties
do much
are
for us
gonna-
anyway besides picks.
He did so much. You guys, he was out of the game with a head injury. They had to bring him back because the 5 plays he was out of the game, I forget the team that did it, but they literally ripped your secondary apart.
Who do we grab in this draft? Defense, line, defense.
And you're expecting big plays from your rookies this season.
I'm expecting big plays from rookies this season.
Well, you better hope they show up in a big way.
Andy Reid shows
my
up in a
pick-
big way. If I was playing for a coach like that,
Yeah, just feed him some cheeseburgers and he'll be good.
That's why he's up in this. That's why he's up in the booth now, too many cheeseburgers.
So, for me, it's Chargers 1, Kansas City 2, Denver 3, and LA or Vegas 4.
Nah.
at least we made your 2. Like, that's all I can say. But Justin, Chargers are not going 1.
Have you guys not watched Justin Herbert for the last 2 years?
Yeah, I have. And he's gotten beat a lot by
Well,
Kansas City.
Watched him not make the playoffs last year.
Oh my God, like this is. They added Khalil Mack. They added J.C. Jackson on defense. They still have Joey Bosa. They still have Keenan Allen. They still have the running back Eckler. They still have him. He was very, very productive last year. They're just the growth of Justin Herbert is gonna evolve, and you guys are gonna have to just sit there and be like, why did I not listen to Justin once again?
There's going to be some very interesting bets off camera made about this season. We'll keep you informed.
It's already begun.
Oh, it's already begun. like the New England Patriots, we won't disclose, but are basically going to be better than the Denver Broncos.
Nope.
Not even close.
No.
Yes, we all know this.
That's a
Are you
very
kidding me?
strange accusation there, Justin.
We're going 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
12-5. I got to look at your schedule.
I predicted 10-7, 11-6 at best. I put Broncos at 12-5 though. 11-6 if they take a bit to get
They went
adjusted.
10-7 last year.
The Pats?
Pats.
Yeah, they did.
Let's look at your schedule this year.
The Pats' schedule this year is very, very easy.
You went 2-1 in preseason, which I am aware does not matter. But
Yes.
considering you lost to Vegas,
Yeah, okay, congratulations. We lost to Vegas. You want to know why we lost to Vegas?
Because Mac Jones wasn't in the game.
because they put up 23 points and you got the equivalent of 2 field goals?
No.
Let's hear it.
Because Josh McDaniels is now the new head coach of the Vegas Raiders.
Kyler Murray might be the new head coach of the Cardinals, too. Which
So,
That's not that.
so you really think Bill's gonna do any new plays to show Josh in preseason, considering He's literally known the team for the last 10 years. You really think he's going to show them anything? Because they play them in the season, too.
Yeah. You bring up a point, and also I'll bring up this point that I already brought up. Preseason doesn't matter.
I get that preseason doesn't matter, but I just want to be clear that there's a reason why we did not even basically go to LA and perform whatsoever. I'm like 1,000% sure that Bill Belichick is the smartest or best head coach to ever coach the game of football. And he's not just going to give the guy who's been his offensive coordinator for the last 10 years. Or not, maybe not last 10 years, but give the guy that's been alongside him the longest more plays, more tape to watch, because he already knows week 17 or week 15, it's going to be a hard game because Josh McDaniels knows the offense, knows the defense inside and out.
Well,
that's my only take on that. Like,
just looking at your schedule, I'm saying 11-6.
Okay, so we play the Dolphins week 1.
Okay, we're not going to run through the whole schedule, but I will say.
Okay, but here's the weak point.
Okay.
Lions, Browns, Bears, Jets, Colts, Jets, Vikings.
Yeah.
Those are 7 W's in a row. That's 7 W's in a row. That should be 7 W's in a row.
Anything can happen.
I'm just saying.
And I'm saying you're going to get maybe 4 more.
That's 7 W's in a row.
I'm going to say maybe you're going to get 4 more.
Where?
On that tear.
Okay. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't think there's anything else I want to really discuss about the Patriots season this year.
You know what? Let's bring it local.
Yeah.
Folks, I love this island. Taylor's from here. It's a given. He loves it. Justin, you love this island. You know what I love most about this island?
Can I take a guess?
Let's hear it.
It's where the big screen is, where the big plays happen.
Oh, where the big place happen?
Where
It's
the big
Hunters
food
Ale
is.
House. Factory, downtown. Beer garden, John Brown's, Hunters at the Fox. Folks, you know I love my food. And all those 4 locations. They got the food. They got the big portions. They got the good deals.
You got the big glizzies.
They got the cold Libras. They got the cold Heineken Zeros for me. The Bud Zeros. That's what I love in this world. Just a big old burger, big old Philly, maybe some garlic fingers. And they do it the best. Clearly, Hunter's Ale House did not give us an ad read for this week, but we are sponsored this season by them again. We can't thank them enough. But still, bringing it local. Let's talk about some college sports, university sports.
I mean, so in the next month or so, we are looking forward to getting back into coverage of our local island sports. Obviously, tonight, this is being filmed on Monday, September 5th, the Charlottetown Islanders baseball team is playing the Fredericton Royals in their one-off wild card game, and winner goes to the semis. So we'll keep you updated on that. If they continue to go through, we'll be covering them. But in terms of university sports, we have men's and women's soccer for UPEI starting up. We have Holland College women's soccer starting up. We have women's and men's rugby for UPEI starting up.
Which yours truly is playing on the men's rugby team.
We have...
St. FX, Sunday the 11th. We're coming for you.
Thank you very much for
You're welcome.
interrupting my
Just
wonderful speech here.
Point is, you got 2 Holland College students, you got a UPS
And
student.
then next up is women's rugby new program at Holland College.
Inaugural season of women's rugby at Holland
that'll
College.
be a very interesting start to their young career, I would say.
They've tried it in the past. Let's see how it goes this time.
Mm-hmm.
I got hopes for them.
And then we have Holland College baseball starting up. And lastly, I would think it's Holland College football as well, am I right?
Yeah, going for a league-tying championship title.
Yeah,
I think number 5 is what they're going for.
We'll see this. We'll see this year what they got in store. That's what's happening in the next month or so. I do realize that I've left out hockey and basketball.
Those are to come.
Those are to come in probably a month and a half.
But the main point is, we're back, we're ready to attack, and sports are back on PEI.
It's mayhem. And you know what? We didn't even tell you who the guest was yet. Guess what? It's the biggest guest we've ever had. So get ready, because Ryan Graves is coming at your screen in 3, 2, 1.
All right, we're back with Ryan Graves, currently with the New Jersey Devils and currently here on PEI. So let's just talk some hockey here. Let's start off in the humble beginnings of Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. What was the dream there as a kid?
Yeah, grew up in a small town, Yarmouth. I played all my minor hockey there. I didn't take hockey too seriously till I was a little bit older. Maybe when I started playing midget hockey, I started to realize that maybe it was something I could do for a little bit longer. So I played all my minor hockey in Yarmouth, and then I played major midget in Bridgewater. And then I played here for the Rocket and then the Islanders. I was part of that changeover. So it was pretty cool to do that. So I've honestly had a really cool journey from small town, like I said, and then to play around the Maritimes and stay in the Maritimes for the majority of my Q career, and then to go to 2 good teams. Went to Val d'Or after the Islanders, and then to Quebec City after that. So and then I turned pro after that. So it's been a cool journey.
So playing with Val d'Or and the Ramparts, you go to the Mem Cup. You put up, I think, a total of 7 points between the 2 Mem Cup trips. And what was that whole experience like?
Yeah, really cool. I was a little hesitant to go to Val d'Or at first. I loved it here on PEI. I have family here. I was just super happy playing here and kind of thought I would stay here the whole time. But I had some people that were close to me that kind of convinced me that it'd be the best thing for me long term. And they were right. It was awesome. I got to go there and be part of a team that won a championship and go to the Memorial Cup the first time around for me. And it really helped me grow as a player. It was kind of that turning point for me where you kind of start to round your game out and you get more confidence, and then you start to kind of play at a higher level. And it was kind of that turning point from just being a decent junior player to making that transition to someone that could turn pro afterwards. So that was cool for me to get to go to that team. And then after that, I was lucky to be traded to the Ramparts, who were the host the next year. So back to back, we didn't win either one, but cool experience regardless.
Yeah, like you say, like Val d'Or's experience kind of helped you. I would say it kind of did, considering you went from having 15 points a season to having 39 and 52 games with the Ramparts. Now, is that when you started to get some calls, I would say, about being able to turn pro, or was anyone looking at you before that?
So I was drafted actually prior to Val d'Or, but I was a late round pick. It was just I think just a big guy who was decent. A lot of big guys get drafted in the later rounds. So I think that's kind of what the basis was on that. And then, I think then it became more serious. I think I started to get more looks instead of just a late round pick that took a chance on, as someone that could start to develop their game and can really make a go at it. And I think Val d'Or played a system that really helped me develop too. I was always super defensive, and that was kind of still is what my role is on the team. But they kind of helped me transition from being just straight defensive defenseman to have a little bit of a two-way of my game, because that team was honestly just straight offense. So you had to be able to keep up, and it takes you to your comfort zone and helped me grow. And then going into the next year at Quebec City in a bigger role, a little bit older, I was able to continue that.
So you got drafted, I think, 110th overall by the New York Rangers. I personally cannot remember what you got traded for from New York to Colorado. Can you remember what you got traded for? Or
it
was
just 1-for-1 for a guy named Chris Bigris. Okay. So last season he played in Lehigh in the American League. I'm not sure where he is this coming season, but at the time he had 70 NHL games and I had 0. So I think Colorado really took a big chance in that trade. Bigris had played some games that year even. And I think they decided to go a different way with him, and then gave him a chance in a new organization. And then New York gave me a chance in a new organization, which you honestly see that a lot. We see teams flop minor league guys to kind of give them a new look. And obviously that really worked out well for me.
Would you say that was probably the best trade or move in your life? For
sure. I mean, at the time, New York was rebuilding, and they had there was six defensemen on the American League team was Hartford at the time, and there were 6D down there on NHL contracts, and 5 of the 6 had got called up that year, and I was the 6th who didn't. So it was kind of like that was a tough time for me, and they traded me later in that season, so I could kind of see it coming that they had no intention for me to play up with the big club. And then honestly, it couldn't have been a better situation with Colorado. Their farm system was great for me. I played half a year there. And then when I went up, I mean, I got to play with some good players, and then I was about half a season in, and I got paired with Cale Makar, and it just like took my game to the next level. And it was just so lucky. And there's so many things that just bounced my way with that it was just really fortunate.
Yeah. So you do take the harder route to the NHL, playing quite a few seasons with the farm team. They're the Eagles. So going through all of that, was it ever just a moment just like, man, maybe I should hang them up?
I don't know if I ever got that far, but there's definitely some thoughts that creep into your head of, I remember there was a time my roommate was another defenseman. I actually lived with him. He's a great guy. And he got called up, and he was the 5th D that year to get called up. So that meant I was the last guy who didn't get called up. And when he was sitting in the hotel room with me, and he got a call that he was going, and it was just, for me, it was a really hard moment. And it was just, it's so upsetting. You spend so many years doing that, and you've put so much time and effort into that and sacrifices that you just think it's not going to work out. So that was just, that was probably the hardest moment for me in all of it. And I was still another month or 2 months before I got traded. So definitely a lot of adversity, but then you look back on that, and it just makes you grateful for the opportunity I'm given now, and the life I'm able to live, and to play in this league, which is just so fortunate. And just, you'll never take a day in the league for granted again, just because you know how hard it is to play in the minors, and just the grind of that schedule, and to even just to be lucky enough to get a chance, because there is a lot of luck in it. And the gap's not that far from guys who never make it and the guys who get a chance. So just makes you grateful for the opportunity you've been given.
Basically, someone's coming for your position every single day of the year. And
yeah,
it makes it hard. Now, one of your best moments, I would imagine, is your first call up to the NHL. Can you walk us through that and how that was?
Yeah, sure. So it was right after Christmas break. So I was with the American League team. Just after the break, we flew to San Jose to play their farm team, who was also in San Jose. And I got a call the night before the game that I was going to get called up, and the big club was in Vegas. So I flew from San Jose to Vegas. I got there the night before the team. They were coming off Christmas break as well, so a lot of them flew in the morning of. So I just kind of spent the night there by myself, and kind of a crazy story. The next day we had the game at 7:00 at night. We had a morning skate in the morning, and during skate, I collided with another player and got a huge cut on my arm. So, I spent the whole day in the ER. I didn't know if I was going to play that night. So it was just like, it was 4.5 years in the American League of waiting, and you finally get your chance, and you this huge gash in your arm in morning skate, which never happens. You never see guys get hurt in morning skate. So for that to happen at that time was just like, oh, this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
But it makes a cool story in the end, and I did play. It was fine. So it honestly maybe helped in the end. It took the nerves away.
Were you basically like, I'm playing no matter what tonight, or?
Yeah, pretty much. The assistant GM was there and came in and talked to the trainers. Is he gonna be fine? I was like, you do not make another call. Like, I am fine. This is not gonna keep me from playing. I've waited so long for this.
Yeah. Did Buddy, who you collided with, ever be like, oh man, I just ruined probably he became a good friend after years and years playing together after that.
but no, it wasn't even his fault. Like it was just like such an innocent thing that could happen. And just like the way his skate bumped into me and the way we both fell, it just clipped my arm in a bad way. It just a crazy thing to happen.
So in that same season, you did play 26 games with the Colorado Avalanche, and then you got sent back down to the AHL. Was that kind of a hard time, not only just seeing it happen, but mentally for yourself?
Not really, because the way it happened, so I was up for, I think it was like 9 games I'd played, and then I got sent down for All-Star break. So I kind of saw it coming. Because like they had guys come back healthy. And then I got called back up again probably a month later. But at that point, the way it works once you're old enough or have played long enough, if you play more than 10 games in the NHL, you have to go through waivers if you get sent back down. So once I hit that 10th game, I hit the waiver threshold. So I kind of had a feeling that I wasn't going to go back down again. So then the rest of the year I was up for the last probably 40 games. I probably played 15 of them. But I was just basically hanging out with the team and practicing and getting to be part of it all. So no, it was a good experience. I was part of the playoffs that year. I didn't play, but I was on the roster and was around it all. So that waiver rule was pretty nice for me that year.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually have to go back down after I played probably 9 games and then went back down. And then after that, I was up for good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after that, you crack it full-time NHL or get the call up again, and you never see the light of AHL ever again. How's that?
Yeah, it's kind of how it's gone. But honestly, I'm thankful for it. I mean, maybe a little bit longer than I'd like to have been in the American League, but it makes you appreciate it. Like the NHL schedule is still a grind. It's tough. Like we're playing every other day, but the AHL schedule is way more of a grind. It's way tougher. It's a really hard atmosphere with competing with your friends and teammates for call-ups and stuff like that. So when you're in the NHL and you're playing a back-to-back and you're like, oh, I'm so tired today. But you think about it, you're like, oh, I flew on our team plane from that city to this city, and I stayed in a nice hotel last night, and life could be way worse. There's nothing to complain about, and it's something that I'll always have. So it's something. It keeps the complaints out of my system for sure.
What would you say would be like? It's just interesting for you to say like the AHL schedule is a lot harder than the NHL schedule. What would be the hardest thing for you, in your opinion, for the AHL schedule then?
I think just the travel. I know they've tweaked it a little bit, but like I remember playing in Hartford. You'd play in Hartford on Friday. So you'd play a 3-3. So you'd play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you'd also play Wednesday. So you're playing 4 games a week. But in the NHL, you do that too, but then you play every other day. So there's a day between. But in the American League, you'd play Wednesday, you'd have Thursday off, you play Friday at home, you drive 5 hours after the game, get in at 3 a.m. You'd play that night, and then you drive 5 hours again after that game, get in at 3 or 4 a.m, and you'd play at 3 o'clock the next afternoon. So it's just like, it's a really hard schedule. I mean, I was like 21, so it's a lot easier when you're young and you're excited, but there's some older guys that really find it tough, and it's a lot easier in the NHL when you get on a plane, you take a 2-hour plane ride wherever you're going, you're in by midnight, 1 a.m, and then you usually have a day between. So it's just a lot, a schedule geared towards recovery and rest and things like that, and they make it easy for us, whereas the American League is a little bit tougher.
Yeah. Now, speaking of recovery and building some toughness, you took a pretty bad skate to the chin there. So, couple questions off of that. Do you still have the scar? How many stitches, and what was recovery like?
Definitely still have the scar. You can see it. It's going to get better. So they stitched it right away. It was 19 stitches. I had trouble opening my mouth for a couple of weeks. Now it doesn't hurt at all. Now they cut the nerve, so there's really no feeling there. But honestly, a really scary moment. It sucks that there's this scar on my face that I hope is going to get better, and they say will get better, but it could have been a lot worse. If it's lower, it's really dangerous, and if it's higher, you've got a scar up the middle of your face, so that could be a lot worse. If you're going to catch it in that area, it's probably the best way it could have happened, but at the time it was really scary. I mean, that skate comes within a centimeter of clipping your neck. You have no idea how bad it is. You feel it hit your chin, and you just put my glove up to my chin, and I looked down, and it was just completely full of blood, and I was like, oh boy, like I'm in trouble here. So I just straight to the locker room and the trainers are putting pressure on it, and it's like, how bad is it? And they wouldn't tell me, so I was like, oh, okay, I know this is bad then. So it was a tough night, but definitely scary. I guess if you look at it, it could have been a lot worse.
But definitely, maybe some painkillers maybe to help you out or something dealing with that pain, or did you just
not much? Honestly,
it?
there was really no pain with it. It was just, it sucked for the next couple of weeks. I couldn't really eat. I could hardly open my mouth because it was so stiff with the stitches. So I missed a couple of games, and then I had to wear the cage for a week or so, and then it was fine after that.
What was it like wearing the cage at that level?
It's tough. I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense, like why we don't wear them. I mean, it's completely avoidable if you just wear a cage, but going back to it, it was tough again you think it's nothing, but then I haven't used it in probably like 8 years now. So to go back to it, was really tough to see below, and you kind of lose the puck at times, but honestly, after a game or two, you just get used to it again.
And finally, what did your family and Sweetie think of that cut? I'm sure they're watching the game.
Yeah, I think it was scary for everyone. Usually, as soon as you get in the room, you especially it's what I do. At least if I'm in the room and I know I'm not going to come back, I'll usually ask one of the trainers to grab my phone, and I'll just text my family and just say I'm good, not coming back, but I'm good. Don't worry, kind of thing. Because I know it's scary. There's people that love you that are watching the game, and it's different from them. They don't watch it just as a fan. They're invested in you as a person. So when they see you go down the tunnel, it's not just a loss for the team. It's like they're kind of thinking of their family. So it can be scary at times for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, for me, I would say when Ryan Graves became a name in hockey was your big breakout season where you didn't have a lot of points because everyone knows you're a defenseman, but you were plus 40, which I'm pretty sure was close, if not was leading the league in plus minus that year. And that's when a lot of people I remember back home was like, holy shit, this Ryan Graves guy is actually really good.
Yeah, that was a cool year for me as someone that was kind of I was a nobody for years. I was in the American League trying to make it. And then when I made it that first year, I was like a 6th, 7th D-man, in into the lineup, didn't really play that much. So for that to happen, and then I think plus minus is kind of a skewed stat. I mean, it's just if you're on a good team, you're always a plus, typically a plus.
Nate Dogg on the ice.
Yeah, I was on a good team. I'd play with good players. So then I was trying to be good defensively. So you try to keep away the minuses, and then the good players give you the pluses. So, and then if you're on a team that struggles on the flip side of it, you're usually a minus. Like I was plus 40 that year, and had nowhere near 40 points. And then this year, I think I had a good year again, and I was a minus player. So it's kind of a team stat, but it was cool to the exposure that came from that as someone that took so long to make it and was kind of a nobody. And then to hear my name in the media and things like that was just, it felt good. It was cool. So it was nice and something that I'm proud of for sure.
I would have to ask you, what is one biggest regret about your time in Colorado? Because during your time in Colorado, like you said, you had great teams. I honestly thought you guys would have won the cup in 2020, 2021. Is that one of the years that you thought, this is it, we're going to win?
Yeah, it's tough. We had 2 years back to back where I think we were favored to win and we didn't win. So that was tough to be part of it. We fell short in the second round 3 years in a row. The first year I didn't really play, and then the next 2 years I was a big part of the team. So looking back, obviously to see them win this year, it sucks. It's like, oh, they finally got over the hump, which takes teams time. And you see Tampa did that they lost to Columbus the year before, before they went back to back. So it's part of the business. It sucks. We just really struggled to get through those teams in the second round. And just couldn't get over it. And then obviously they got through it this year with a very similar roster. So that sucks, but part of the game. And like I said, I'm lucky to play in the league in the first place. So to be really upset about that, which wouldn't really be fair because I'm just happy to be there. But at the same time, it does suck. You want to win, but you're still young. I'll have other opportunities to do it. But yeah, it definitely sucks. But at the same time, I'm happy for a lot of guys in that team.
Yep. Yeah. So speaking of that they make the trade for you to New Jersey for a draft pick and an AHL guy, much like you were, where it's probably going to be a few years in the minors in college where they're going to see NHL time. So when they do win that cup after your season in Jersey and their successful season, do you make a few calls to the boys that you're still in touch with and, give them the congrats, or is it just kind of I'm a devil now?
No, I mean, you let them enjoy their time and enjoy their celebration and stuff like that. But no, I've talked to a few of them. I'm happy for them. There's some guys in the team that have really been through it. I mean, I kind of came in the good times. My first year, we made playoffs every year that I was there. We were good. So I was lucky. I was never really part of the dog days there, but there were some guys in that, like Nate and Landeskog and Johnson and guys like that were there. Yeah, that were there when they finished dead last in the league and just really struggled for years and years. So it's those guys are the ones that I'm really happy for, that have just put in the time and have seen the team take a 180 and go from the bottom of the league to the top.
Were you expecting the trade? Or was it kind of a curveball?
Not that much of a curveball. With Seattle coming in, you kind of knew that things were going to shift, and getting closer to the Seattle draft, you kind of hear who their picks are going to be and stuff like that. And then you hear your name thrown around a lot. You're like, okay, I'm probably on the move here. Where am I going? Is it going to be a trade? It's going to be Seattle. See, it's just part of the business of it. And obviously crappy timing with how that happens, but nothing you can do about that. It's just part of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I want to know, you played 1 full year in Jersey. You got young, really talented players. You just picked up Plot from Tampa Bay. You got Dougie Hamilton. You got PK Subban. You got T.Y. Smith or Ty
Mm-hmm.
Smith. Ty Smith, sorry.
Yeah.
And what kind of excitement is it going into next year now, growing as a team, and you got young players, and even I forgot about Luke Hughes, who will be probably on his way up.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for Jersey fans. That the team is young, we're good. Are we ready to win yet? I don't know, but if we don't make playoffs this year, I think it'll be a disappointment. I think last year we wanted to make steps towards it. And I think we fell a little bit short of that goal, but we're a better team this year. So going into the year, we have high expectations for ourselves. Like you said, it's a young team. It's got some really good young players with Jack Hughes and Heisher and Brad and some of those guys that can really play and that are just kind of getting their feet in the league. And they're just going to keep taking steps forward. And I mean, Jack was over a point a game, and Brad was pretty close to that too. So those guys are going to take more steps, and then adding veteran guys like Palat, and then they've got some young, more like Luke coming in. They drafted that other D-man. So
yeah,
however long they take to come in, they're going to have a positive impact on that team, and they've built a really good young core there.
Do you did you have any recruiting process to try and get Johnny Gaudreau to come to New Jersey? Or you didn't reach out?
That's above my head. I don't know him at all, so I wouldn't reach out or anything. But no, I mean, Fitzy's done a good job. I think the Palat signing's good. I know they were in on Johnny, but
was it something that
happens every year?
Was it something you were thinking about? Like, damn, we might get the chance to play with Johnny.
Not really. I mean, that's kind of out of your control. And then the way it shakes out, it's the way it shakes out. They always trying to better your team. So whatever management does, you just kind of show up and do what you can with it.
Yeah. All right. So a couple things here, and then we'll let you get back to your very busy schedule, I'm sure. So going from Colorado to New Jersey, you're in a whole new locker room and a whole new league. And that's just got to be, I'm sure, somewhat nerve-wracking, compared to switching QMJHL locker rooms. So
for sure, yeah.
For these new guys coming up, what's your piece of advice through your veteran experience now on going into the NHL locker room?
Honestly, it's a lot easier than you think. Guys are super nice, especially when everyone's older. Like, everyone has their life outside of the rink. A lot of guys have families and things like that. So guys are all professionals, and obviously you make friends in the team that you're closer with than other guys, but there's not much clickiness that goes on, and people are really nice, especially with young guys. They bring them right in, and everyone was in that same stage at one point too, so they know that you're coming in, you're young or you're new, that guys bring you in, and they really welcome you into team events, activities, just day to day and stuff like that. So honestly, guys are super nice. We're all in the same boat. In the city we're not from, living probably all in similar areas, so we make it a lot of fun, and guys are really easy to get along with, and teams change year to year, so it's pretty normal for there to be a lot of new guys around.
Yeah, for sure. So new in season 3 here for the Waterboyz, we're introducing a lightning round. So you're very lucky. You're our first guest for a lightning
Cool, let's do it.
All right, you got 6 questions, each one a bit more controversial, but nothing to worry about. Don't you worry. You just got to answer these right off the top of the head. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather score walk in, bar down, or pick a corner from the blue line?
Probably walk in.
Walk in, bar down? All right.
Yeah.
You're putting on the skates in the locker room. Socks or no socks?
Oh, socks. That's crazy to go no socks.
I'm with you.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
There's some psychopaths in this world, and all of them go no socks and skates.
Yeah.
All right. Tape heel to toe or toe to heel?
I'm heel to toe because I'm too lazy to tape the toe.
There we go. Euro. I like it. All right. Regular or alternate sweaters?
I like the alternates. It's cool. I know some teams like Colorado, we had the divisional games where we'd wear the blue, and we had those retro reverses, which were pretty sick. And then Jersey had those jerseys this year, those black ones.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't wear them this year, but the Jersey has those green ones. Those ones are pretty dope, like the old red and green ones. I'm a sucker for those. I think they're so cool.
Okay. Piggybacking off that, would you rather go red green or the jersey ones?
I like red green.
With you.
Yeah.
Jersey, my personal opinion. Anyway, I guess when you're a devil, you got to answer that you like it. But anyway, all right. Would you rather relive your first hockey goal or your first NHL goal?
First NHL goal is pretty cool. It's against the Rangers. It's the team that drafted me and I didn't play for. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely that one.
All right. Final one. I'm sorry if this pushes a button, but I got to ask it. Would you rather relive that hit by Ryan Reeves or take on a Zamboni at full speed?
Oh, I don't. Definitely Revo. That's fine. He's okay.
All right.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather take on a grizzly bear than Ryan Reeves. All right.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Ryan. We appreciate you taking your time and coming on the Waterboyz podcast. Grant, you want to tell them where they can find us?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. For live scores and updates, you got to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram's at Waterboyz_media, and Twitter's at the Waterboyz Pod. For all the podcast news, we also have on Instagram the @official Waterboyz Podcast. So I think that does it for the opener of season 3, Justin. What do you say?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. All right. And look what's back, folks. The boom box. We'll see you next time on the Waterboyz.